Observe the breath, how the breath going in and coming out. Attentively, carefully observing each and every breath. Now, take a deep, prolonged inhalation, then retention and exhalation. Pura Kumbhak Rechak. Deep, slow, prolonged breathing. Retention 5 to 6 seconds. Then exhalation, Rechak. Deep, complete, so slow. Rechak. Practice for few more seconds. Try to connect your mind with the each and every breath. Observe the journey of the breath, how the breath going in, retaining and coming out. Now, prepare yourself for the 3-time chanting along with Shanti. Take a deep, prolonged inhalation. Exhale. Inhale for the Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feel the vibration, sensation. Join your both palms together. Rub your palm. Place on your eyes. Feel the warmness. Very slowly while blinking, looking at your palm with a great smile. Open up your eyes. Very well. Quick review what we did yesterday class, yes? We discussed about what?
Mostly yesterday class was focused on moksha. So we discussed in detail. And then you told one story and lots about Lord Buddha as well.
So now you know what is liberation, how through the samadhi, through the union, we can attain the liberation. Maharishi Patanjali himself talking about the liberation, the path of the Moksha, that is what? 8 limbs, which we completed, right? Any doubt till here? We talked about Pratyahar. Pratyahar is the bridge which take you from Antarang to the Bahirang to the Antarang, right? From external journey to the internal. So these limbs are very much important. If you want to follow the path of the yoga, you have to go towards the Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga also itself Ashtanga Yoga, yes? Kriya Yoga. He gave in the many names to this 8 limbs. Even if you're practicing the Hatha Yoga, you have to follow these niyamas. 8 limbs. Because Hatha Yoga is what? Preparation for the Raja Yoga or 8 limbs or Kriya Yoga. Further, you have to go into the Samadhi. There is no other way. If you are looking for the moksha, liberation, to come out from this, and if you're looking for your and, simple. Otherwise, you would be becoming part of this cosmos. No matter what you would be becoming in next life, we don't know. So this is what? Liberation. Liberation. But if we talked about today life, what is the liberation for me right now?
Today's life.
Today, present, this present moment, or tomorrow maybe, or day after tomorrow. Of course. Liberation from the desire. Yeah. If there is no desire, automatically you are liberated being. Swami Mahavira. He himself declared this. You will get moksha the moment you don't have any desire. He claimed it. So it means if you somehow learn through the anything to stop or to have craving for something or having more and more desire, then that is what? Moksha. That is a liberation. Because of this desire, you are having next life. Because of this desire, you are trapped into this cycle, life and death cycle. Because of this desire. Today, maybe you want to be happy, you want to be a rich. This desire give you the next life. Give you more pain and suffering. The moment you're born in this planet, you would be gonna die. And death always come along with the pain. So it's very much important. Work on your desire. So rather than having too many desires, try to work on the small one. Reduce those things. Basic needs. Try to follow your basic needs. Food, water, shelter, that's it. So through this attitude, through this perception, you can work on this. And yes, meditation gives you more and more capability, more power to work on this. To work on especially stop craving for something. So you come into the samtav, equanimous. You become equanimous. Start living your life in the balance. Yes, very first, samtav yoga uchyate. Meaning, true meaning. What is a yoga? Samtav yoga uchyate. Balance. Balance. Yoga is what? Balance. Not thinking about the result of your action. That is again perfection in the action. Living into the present moment. That is what? Yoga. Very simple, not difficult. Isn't it? It's very simple. Just focus on the very small things. Today, what are you gonna do? If you're busy in today, this present life, you would not be thinking about the tomorrow. So be disciplined. Clear? Now, these are the very important things. But you have to practice to achieve. Otherwise, it would be ended like what? You studied other kind of subject, you written so many notes, and then you're going to forget about it. Yes? That's going to happen. Don't waste this thing. This is a very crucial information which I'm giving to you. By utilizing, you can change, you can see complete transformation within you. Not just by practicing the asana only, but how you are living your life the whole day. It's gonna build your character, the strong character. Abhi to we have monkey mind, it goes here, go there, go somewhere else. Yes? Imagine if you get the strong mind, the mind which is under your control. You have the tremendous power. Yes or no? Yes or no? You can't imagine what you can do through this mind. You cannot imagine. That much power you will get. But the problem is that mind is not under your control, right? That is the main problem. So liberation, come out from this trap. Reverse this thing and start controlling your mind. And you can rule over whole this world. If you're very much disciplined. For today, this is liberation. Yes? So, forget about moksha. We never see this thing. We're never gonna see. Or maybe you're gonna see. Too much hard work required for that. But at least I can secure my present. I can keep myself happy this very second. And yes, everybody is running after the happiness, so why shouldn't I? And this is the nature have given you the chance to make you a human being. So you get the great opportunity to come out from this trap. Don't lose it. In next life, maybe you are not human being. Right now, focus. Clear? Understood? Now we're gonna move towards the topic nadis. So write it down, nadis. Nadis, nadis. So nadis. What are the nadis? The channels. Okay. What do you mean by the channels? Energy channels. These are the channels we have in our body, 72,000 of the nadis. 72,000. So Hatha Yogi believe that there is 72,000 of the nadis where the prana. Remember the pranayam which you are talking about? The life force? The life force is following into this channel. Nadis. 72,000 of the nadis. Among them, many Hatha Yogis believe 3 important nadis. Most important nadis. What are these 3 important nadis? Pingla, Ida, Sushumna. Ida. Okay, Pingla, Ida, Sushumna. Pingla is associated with the right side of the nostril, okay, which mean related to the symbolical meaning heat. Remember when we talking about the Hatha Yoga, Hakar and Thakar. So Hakar represents the Pingla Nadi. Thakar represents the Ida Nadi. And Hatha Yoga is what? Balance of these 2 nadis. The Hatha Yogis believe the Hatha Yoga, when you're practicing the Hatha Yoga, this whole procedure is what? To bring the balance to these two nadis, Pingla and Ida. So what happens? Sometimes your right nostril is active, sometimes your left nostril is active. And there's a very few seconds when both nostril is active. But this happened very, very small, very micro second.
But it keeps changing.
It keeps changing. When you feel the hunger, that time your right nostril would be activated. When you feel hungry, especially during the noon time, when you see like, oh, I'm hungry, that time your right nostril is activated. Right nostril related to the heat, which means Agni. Agni, which give you the assimilation, which break the food into the small particles. Getting it? Ida, relaxing. When muscles are relaxed. Sleeping, for sleeping. Ida Nadi is working in that time. When you're going for the sleep, you can check your left nostril is working that time. Understanding? Vicky?
Yes,
So, this is the very crucial information. Okay? You can understand what is the main motto of the Hatha Yoga. So, Pingla and Ida. These are the two nadis which connected to your right and left nostril. Now understand, these two nadis also connected with the brain. You know this thing? For example, these you have brain, right? This is your brain. So left would be controlling the right side of the brain hemisphere, right hemisphere of the brain, and right side of the nostril controlling the left side of the hemisphere of the brain. Yes? Opposite. Okay, this nostril. So it means like the left side would be all the action which is you're performing from the left side of your hand, that's controlled by the right side of the brain. You heard about it, this thing. And left side, vice versa. Okay? So what happened when you're working on Ida Pingla? The good example of this, Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. Have you heard about it, Nadi Shodhan Pranayam? You practice alternate nostril breathing. Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. This is working on your autonomic nervous system, bringing the balance, purification of the 72,000 of the channel. Have you heard about the benefit of the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam? The very first benefit come what? 72,000 of the channel would be purified. Open. So 72,000 of only practice the Nadi Shodhan. Is that much effective practice. If you dedicated yourself completely to practicing the alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, Alom Vilom, name. This brings the balance to the parasympathetic and sympathetic system. Your digestion would be more, you have the good digestion. Your body function would be more effective. You become healthy. Because of imbalance, you are having the problem, right? But if you get into the balanced state just by practicing the Nadi Shodhan, that's it. Just by practicing Nadi Shodhan only.
By this diagram, what are you trying to put in?
What?
By this diagram,
Uh-huh.
what are you trying to put in?
I'm coming to that. So, it said that Pingla and Ida Nadi and Sushumna Nadi, these are the three main important nadis which located in your spine. Okay? For example, you have the spine in the middle. So, here, left side of the spine, there is a Ida Nadi. Right side is Pingla Nadi. In between, there is a Sushumna Nadi, which you can't see, these things, because it's located in the Pranamaya Kosha. Right? You can't see Pranamaya Kosha, but you can feel about it. So, this is your spine structure. In between there is a spine structure. This triangle represents your coccyx area. This triangle basically give the idea about how your lower back, your sacrum, okay. Then from sacrum, from tailbone, we have this area. You have the Muladhara chakra. In your sacrum area, tailbone area, you have the Muladhara chakra. Muladhara chakra in triangular shape. There is a triangular shape, the triangle which is pointing downward triangle, which representing what? Shakti. Downward. Triangle which is downward, which representing the Shakti location. So here somewhere is a Shakti. Which Shakti? Kundalini Shakti. What do you mean by the Kundalini? Kundalini is like...
Kundalini is like converting sexual energy to life.
That is a procedure, okay? You all are having the Kundalini Shakti. So here you have like this. So 3.5 coiled. Half coiled Shakti. So have you seen this serpent power, right? It's called serpent power. It means 3.5 coiled. Have you seen the snake when he coiled? So like that. It doesn't mean there is snake. Okay. It means like, because the symbolical meaning. It symbolizes that it's look like how the snake is coiled. That's why we have given the name serpent power. Okay. That's why we have given the name Kundalini. Kundalini means coiled, round, 3.5. This Shakti called Shakti. Okay. So this Shakti right now sleeping at the base of your spine. Right now. All we are having it, but right now it's sleeping. What happens if you're practicing the Nadi Shodhan, pranayam, or you're practicing other practice? There's a particular asanas to awaken your Kundalini. There's a Sushvyam also, where you are practicing to awaken your Kundalini. There's a pranayam also, right? You're practicing those things. So what?
What about Bandha to activate this Kundalini?
Bandha is also helpful. There's a whole procedure, Like you have to follow the Shat Karmas. Depend which level you are. For example, you have the healthy body, healthy mind. So you don't require to practice the Shat Karma. Shat Karma only practiced by the people who are having imbalance of the Vata, Pitta and Kapha.
But everybody has this balance, some or other.
Ancient time, it wasn't like that, na?
At the same time, but
Now everybody is having, because of our climate is like that. Our society is becoming like that. We are dependent more on these outside materialistic things. Ancient time, many people, they have the good environment, they have the good social life. Nobody is having that much stress. They are not worrying about the job or something like that, because the children are learning at the childhood. They are getting into the perfection.
But in ancient time also there must be a kind of dominant part of this three dosha.
Yeah.
Suppose
Of course.
path dominant.
Exactly. Asian time is like that. But here we are talking about which state you belong to. In Asian time, there's many people who are having the problems, disease. That's why the Ayurveda formed, na? But it doesn't mean like everybody. Like there's many people who are having the good lifestyle. They're the people who are going into the meditation state. Sai Baba, you never know how he used to be in his childhood. It's a very imbalanced state. since childhood. Some people born with some qualities because in their past karmas, they died with the meditation. So next life, they again start doing the meditation. Because it's, whatever you have, no problems, it's passed through your DNA. Yes? Yes or no? Now all the diseases are forming from what? You're taking from your ancestor.